Hi, and welcome everyone to the video session on IoT application for COVID 19. Yes, you heard it right. See, we've seen IoT's technical part and we have seen a few IoT's application in smart city projects and water management. So those things are very, very essential in today's lifestyle and today's infrastructure. If you take, these are very important. At the same time, we should not forget what is happening across the globe in terms of this pandemic situations. So COVID 19, which started from the late 2019, and it got into a peak of in the year 2020, and we all know what happened during last year by this time, and we are also quite aware by this time of the year what is happening in the country now, especially in our India, what is happening. So, do we have a solution from IoT's perspective? Is what is we going to see? So IoT is helping in eradicating or in predicting or in giving out certain solutions for overcoming this pandemic situation. So we will see through this video on some of the areas where IoT is helping. So it's me, Saravanan Veluchami again, and giving you this special session on this topic, and we'll see. We'll see on the PPTs that we have for you. Let's tune to the video. Okay. So IoT's application in the fight against COVID-19 is the topic for the video. See, when you take IoT, so you can't separate sensor devices, mobile applications or mobile apps, and you can't separate artificial intelligence. And when you take artificial intelligence, two things will automatically come along with artificial intelligence. One is robotics, and one is machine learning. So with the support of this thing and wherever required when we use drone, I think this combination is going to help a human in a lot of ways. So we will also see some of the examples in few areas of the world where this combination has worked out so well and in eradicating or in helping or in finding certain solutions for overcoming this pandemic COVID-19. So we'll see one by one. Okay. See, I mean, you take the COVID collaborating, integrating with IoT. So, in what way it could really help? So, first thing is superior treatment. Yes, what is this superior treatment? See, for any disease, for anything, the latest applications how it could help mankind. That is what we're going to see today. So when it comes to COVID, how the treatment is given with the support of IoT, that is we're going to see. And when you apply certain technology using IoT, there is enormous amount of reduction in the chances of making mistakes. Yes, you could eradicate a lot of mistakes. See, when you take the current situation, a lot of mishappenings are happening, in the medical treatment, medical industry. So when you apply such IoTs, such things are getting reduced. That is also an important point because already people are in panic situation and any mishap could really make them lose confidence, hope, and they get more feared and they get more frightened about the situation, and that thing should be avoided. So IoT really helps in doing mistakes. So that is also an added advantage. And when you take the expenses, so it is going to cut a lot of cost. So the patient will spend a little low expense when you compare with application of IoT. That is possible. And okay, one more point, one more thing is enhanced diagnosis. See, diagnosis is the final treatment given after scientific verification, after scientific findings. So we'll go for the enhanced diagnosis. So enhanced diagnosis will be more accurate. And it will tell clear picture to the patient, to the patient's relatives about the situation. And effective control, yes, control is always an important factor. So it should always be under control, and it should always be so when I mean control, the situation should be in control, the patient should be in control, everything. See, when you have the data, only then the accurate data, the accurate results, the accurate informations, you could easily say it is everything is in control. When it goes beyond that, I think it's out of control. So with the applications of IoT, this is possible. Okay. So in times of social distancing, the IoT really helps. You can ask me how. See, um, I don't think any person in today's world is available without mobile phones, particularly the smart ones. So everybody is having, because 7,000 or 8,000, you get at least a decent good smartphones with internet connections. See, IoT, a lot of IoT applications are there already, which is helping us in terms of medic, in terms of situations like COVID. See, app could be developed. The sensor. See, in the app itself, specification could be given, and it has already been done. When you give specification like 30 meters, 60 meters, so when somebody is crossing 30 meters from your mobile phone will give an notification that someone is coming closer to you. So in that way, you could really distance yourself from the other persons. So this is possible. Okay. Okay, so this PPT, the entire PPT explores the use of IoT in remote patient monitoring and vaccine cold chain management. Okay, these two are the important things during some disaster time like COVID, which has to be really really taken care of. One is remote patient monitoring (RPM), and one is vaccine cold chain management. Vaccine cold chain management is that is the need of the hour. That management is need of the hour, and governments, corporates are looking into this area in helping the people, in helping overcome the situations. So we'll see one by one, and how these two is already helped in few African countries in eradicating Ebola as well as the COVID-19. We will see. So already IoT has brought certain solutions in some of the developing nations. So we'll see that. IoT, which is defined as the coordination of multiple machines, devices, and appliances connected to the internet through multiple networks, enables remote diagnostics, treatment, and monitoring. Okay, the technology can improve patient care by connecting patients to health practitioners and enabling the collection and analysis of data that can be accessed little later. Okay, so which was telling a little earlier, remote patient monitoring (RPM). See, RPM successfully has been implemented in countries like Malaysia and in few African countries. Okay, so has it come to India? So it has come to India in a different name. So in Malaysia, this is a successful model. So instant CMED Health in Malaysia. So this is the web page, where patients could get connected to it. You will have to register. A patient will register, and certain information will be asked by the website, and you'll have to enter all the details. And once you're done, and some SMS will come to your mobile phones, and where after that moment, you will get connected and you'll become a part of this particular CMED Health from Malaysia. So what this is doing is, so it is gathering health related data from each patient, and this data is been is been analyzed, and is been certain analytics is been applied, and certain assessment is done, and certain recommendations is also done automatically. So everything is being done automatically. So they have an automated system for this doing, and once this is done, certain informations will be shared to the medical doctors. So medical doctors will already have certain solutions recommended for that, and that will be immediately recommended for the patients. So some of the benefits of using this technology is: users can monitor the primary health vitals remotely by integrating IoT enabled smart medical devices with the app. The measured data is sent to CMED's cloud server, which can be accessed and analyzed by authorized doctors. This is what I was telling you. And CMED app produces color coded result based on the emergency level of the user's health status. During COVID 19, this allowed CMED's team to identify and escalate emergency situations, and over 1.5 million people in Bangladesh has been saved by this. So, like I told you, in Malaysia, this was implemented, and even in Bangladesh, it was implemented, and something like 1.5 million people were saved, and they have used this app, and they have saved these situations. Okay, so healthcare management. See, when we say healthcare management is not just a small word. It is a big process, which needs the correct vision, correct mission, and visualizations of the long term in perspective of long term. So predictions and other things should be for a long term, like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, from the date of applying this concept. So when you don't do it, so when disaster comes in huge, see, usually before this pandemic, before this kind of virus attack, see, some disaster might come. For example, in a nation, only small part will be getting affected, not the entire nation. So whether it is earthquake, whether it is something like tsunami, or whether it is um, volcano eruptions. Whereas this virus attack, you can't say only certain locations will be targeted. So it is even in air, it is getting spreaded. So that if that is the case, so the entire nation is going to suffer a lot. That is the bottom line. So for such situation, the entire infrastructure model should be connected, integrated with technology, and you should have a proper vision and proper planning for that. When we say healthcare management, the government should know the list of hospitals available, number of beds available, number of oxygen cylinders available, number of medical equipments available, and how every hospital can accommodate such situations and overcome such situations. So uh, I think every medical hospital will be registered in ICM, or Indian Council for Medical Research, and the doctors are registered. So I think the government can have a database of that, and they can allot, and they can prioritize, and they can give certain suggestions, and it can be centralized. See, the government needs to take certain step, only then this can be made better, arranged. Okay, bed management system. See, the current situation in India, by the time you watch this video, I think this topic could really be an important one. Okay, see, bed management is very important in a term, in situations like pandemic, especially the COVID virus attack and other things. When see, India is already a thick populated country. So even so, out of 130 crores, even 5% gets attacked by the virus. the population, I mean, the kind of infra we have and the doctors we have, the kind of medical equipments we have, I think we cannot accommodate the entire affected peoples. So that is the real scenario. So bed management, the government should have a proper data. For example, in private hospital, one private hospital can have 500 beds. So in a city, so there are say 25 hospitals. So each hospital, some might have 50, some might have 500, some might have allotted even much more than that. So that database the government should have. See, people should not. People prefer to travel. I mean, they don't prefer to travel along during this time. They prefer to go to the either to the government hospitals or to the private hospitals, which is nearby to their locality. Um, when certain situations comes, so patient will be admitted. So definitely they need a bed. So the information for bed availability should be available. For example, when situations are really out of control, okay. For example, we will take one example. A hospital in maybe in Coimbatore, a hospital in Coimbatore is there. Okay, see, it has got only 400 beds for COVID patient. Okay, so already 400 is been filled by patients. For example, one person is coming to the hospital. Only after he enters into the hospital, and he spends certain time, could be a minimum of half an hour to 1 hour. So he comes to know that there is no bed available in this hospital. Okay, so this the initial that 1 hour is so crucial and important for patient suffering, and he's already in the close to the death. So 1 hour is wasted. Again, he has to go to some other hospital find bed. So everything should be integrated and available to his mobile phones. Then that is quite easy for him to, he's already in a very stress situations, and he's already in fear. The relatives are fear because of this virus. So everybody will be, they will not be in a calm mind. So they'll be already in a lot of stress. So when the at least when the data is there in their hand, they could make a little bit of good decision, and they can save time, and they can move to the hospital which has got bed, which has got oxygen, which has got medical equipments, the proper medical equipments. So for this, so we'll also see how South Africa based Gatang Health Service responded to the situations by applying a concept called EBMS, so electronic bed management systems. They have they have developed this particular system to identify the availability of beds across multiple sites using cloud-based technology. The IoT sensors placed on the beds enable hospital staff to seamlessly identify the beds availability. So even they have placed sensors on the beds. That is also a little good, I would say. So the hospital staff is able to have certain data, say data in hand about the availability. That is also really a good one. So EBMS usage resulted in important reduction in the wait time for bed, like what we were discussing. The wait time for bed, it is getting reduced, particularly